name is Miss Grace. I'm here 3 days a week where we do the morning show, where we break down comprehensive what's going on in politics and all of the other crazy sectors in this world. Um, Today, we're going to be following up on what we talked about a couple of days ago, last week, about the National Guard shooting that occurred in Washington. So, before we get started, I do want to send love and blessings to two of our National Guard heroes who, one who has passed away, allegedly, Miss Sarah and Mr. Andrew. My last broadcast, I was pretty stoic as far as my approach to the subject matter, and I know that I talked about it on a holiday, and it was pretty sensitive for some people. But today we're going to have to keep the story going, and we're going to have to keep talking about this because something serious is happening. And I do believe that Trump is taking it upon himself right now to use this particular situation to mutate the migration laws and to attack second generation citizens. Okay? And if you don't know, I am a second generation citizen, so I have been keeping my eyes on what's been going on with this migration issue, highlighting that a couple of months ago, hold on, make sure you can hear me. A couple of months ago, when Trump first got in or just was about to get in, I said, hey, this migration issue is going to get pretty ugly. I do believe he's going to try to target black people, in which we have seen black people be caught up in this particular situation. Not saying that we're being deported yet, but I know he was going to keep on pushing the cameras back. We talked about paperwork, we talked about things like that. And now it is really alarming, but not alarming to hear where this situation is going. Meaning, he is looking forward or looking towards going after green card holders. Now, I'm getting beside myself, but I want you guys to kind of see where my head be at when I approach certain subject matters. I try not to go in it with my emotions totally. That's why when you hear me talk about some things that may be tragic, I may be very so stoic. So I wanted to highlight that because the last live I did on this particular subject on Thanksgiving, I was pretty stoic, and I did not give love and blessings to, the two National Guard members. But we're going to get the broadcast going. As you come in, please hit the like button. We're waiting for the notifications to go out. Guys, hit the like button. I'm working on getting myself in the algorithm. If you hear any buzzing or anything going on, let me know, okay? So let's get this broadcast started where we're at. Now, hold on. I forgot to do my little bragging rights, okay? The last video, I basically made a prediction that this individual involved in the National Guard shooting, hold on, let me make sure that you guys can see everything's good. Involved in the National Guard shooting would be, could be, and may be connected to a government agency trained by them or something, especially when I heard Afghanistan, okay? And I got the 8 ball. He's allegedly connected to a CIA program, and we're going to get to this real quick about the suspect, okay? Following November 27th shooting of the two National Guards, the suspect was comprehended. So this is his background. So the suspect shooter was identified as Ra Mullah, okay, 25-year-old from Afghanistan. And I dissected his name, but we'll be all right. CIA backed unit connection. So Mr. Ramula was part of a special counterterrorism. Y'all see why I kept saying terror, terror, I'm tired of terror? Because it be causing issues, okay? A whole lot of, how can I say, contradictive relationships and things happen when terror is involved. So this guy was on a counterterrorist force in Afghanistan known as Zero Unit. Now, you remember I mentioned to you guys that our country has a tendency to go in other countries and basically say, we're going to help you fight terror. We're going to help you fix what's going on with your government, have fair elections, and we're going to basically equip you guys with guns that you don't have and see how far you go with it. after your government while we try to push for a new regime. And that's real. Okay, so this was the zero unit in Afghanistan that he was connected to, which operated under the direction of the CIA. No conspiracies here. I have people, blessings and grand risings, everyone. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for coming. Sorry I had to start the broadcast over, and sorry I was late, but this is going to be very informative. Have people under our comments saying more conspiracy theories? No, there you go, right there. He's he has connection, direct connection to the CIA, a unit that was reportedly known as NDS-03. He arrived in the United States, withdrew from Afghanistan in 2021. Lakawan, this is his last name, Lakawan, was among the thousands of Afghanistan that relocated to the United States under Operation Allies. Welcome. And I should have got that clip. I was wondering why they were showing that because it was actually Biden that pushed that. That's why he was like, it's Biden, it's Biden. Because I have a clip of Biden pushing that, like all allies are our friends. I'll put that in the reels for you guys. He was admitted due to his work with the U.S. government, including the CIA. Eight ball in the chat, y'all. Now, this is what they add on to my little discovery. Mental health struggles. As a child, friends and law enforcement sources have indicated that the shooter suffered from mental health issues, including paranoia. This was potentially aggravated by the intense trauma of the counterterrorism work of the fear of deportation and the look, it says counterterrorism work and the fear of deportation. Though no link to extremist propaganda has not been confirmed. So they're saying that he haven't had any prior link to any other terrorist group. But can I just reread that because I kind of skipped over it and messed up just a little bit. And I'm going to say that suggests to me what I've been saying. Something that is real, something that is going on, that is trademarked by people in our government, people affiliated, and that's the MK Ultra. Shut it up. I'm dead serious. Okay, this is a little bit weird. Okay, it's information educational purposes only. We just kind of talking about it, but they're saying that his paranoia that they knew they had this gentleman working with the CIA under counterterrorism, getting all of these connects. Because again, these counterterrorism groups in other countries get direct connects to guns to bring it into their country. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so the CIA director statement in this, it says in a public statement, the CIA director confirmed his association with the agency, but added that the man should have never been allowed to come here. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Thank you for being here. Please hit the like button. I hope that we're streaming well, and we're having no issues this morning. Let's go.
Denver, shot in Washington, D.C., right near the White House. Just about an hour ago, law enforcement officials in Washington held a news conference to provide an update on the shooting, including new details about the suspected shooter, an Afghan national who was taken into custody at the scene.
We're also learning more about the guard members who were shot. Eyewitness News reporter Jason Patel joins us live in the studio with the details.
We're in Pedro, Danny. Well, we learned this morning that the two victims are 20-year-old Sarah Meckstrom and 24-year-old Andrew Wolf. The suspected gunman was also identified yesterday. We just got photos of them into our newsroom, so take a look. These are pictures of the victims. They are still in critical condition this morning after they were shot just block away from the White House yesterday afternoon. And this is a picture of the suspect, 29-year-old Ramanullah Lakhanwal. Lakhanwal was also shot and taken to the hospital in critical condition. And we learned this morning that the weapon he used is a .353 Smith & Wesson revolver.
I wonder what the significance to that. I'm going to look into that because they highlighted this for some particular reason. But we're glad that he's still alive because we thought that he was unalived.
Today, the FBI director said there is confirmation that Lakhanwal had a relationship in Afghanistan with partner forces, so they are currently looking into those connections. It's unclear if that relationship was with the CIA or other U.S. forces. But the FBI is currently investigating this shooting as a potential act of international terrorism. Authorities are trying to determine if he was inspired by an international terrorist organization. According to law enforcement sources, Lakanwal is believed to be from Afghanistan and came to the United States in 2021 under the Biden administration. He applied for asylum in 2024 and was granted asylum in April 2025 under the Trump administration, according to those sources. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service.
Okay, so y'all heard how they breezed over that. He came in under Biden, but he was granted asylum under Trump. And that's weird. It's a little weird to me because Trump was not trying to grant no one asylum. He don't want no type of migrants here. So why was he so laxy daisy on this particular guy? I'm just saying, I'm gonna let my spidey senses keep going.
Announced that the processing of all immigration requests relating to Afghan nationals has stopped indefinitely pending further review of security and vetting protocols. And this morning we learned a little bit more about Lakanwal and the charges he could face.
Now, let's just start right here. This is exactly what I've been talking about. This is what we're supposed to be doing, revamping our actual migration admission process, how we filter people, determine who can come here, what's the stipulations. This is not something that we have been focused on, honestly. So I think Trump is a situational based type person where he create a situation and then he say, hey, I'm going to, not me. Situations are going to be created where I can just push forth the agenda that I want to as president so I can bypass all of these separations of power to me. This is what it's saying to me. I knew that he was going to go back and start targeting Afghanistan once I heard the name, but I want you guys to see how this is escalating because not only is he focusing on Afghanistan nationals, and he is allegedly seeking to deport this man's family out of here. Okay? It's a little nerve wracking to me. I'm jumping ahead, but this is what Trump is planning on doing on top of a few other things. That's why I say, is this a psyops? People didn't like that word, but I'm so sorry because it's starting to buzz. A psychological operation for us to accept certain things, start pushing certain narrative forward. So now you're not even talking about only illegals getting targeted. We're talking about second generations here and people with green cards because this is what Trump is saying. So this is just a little bit more about the charges of the suspect. I want to hear a little bit more about the suspect because we may hear something that may come out because as we listen to all these different broadcasts, we hear a little different, a little more, and a little more. Okay? Let's get it. What she got going on? Please hit the like button. We're doing a comprehensive breakdown here. We don't do it the regular way. We let it climax. We bring some things together to make it make sense, and we come up with our own idea. I want you to come up with your own idea of what you think is going on. But I'm going to have to ask those hard questions, guys. That's what I'm here for.
Here on Live Now for Fox, having to do with the suspect involved in the D.C. National Guard shooting. And I did want to bring this social media post up right here. This is from Fox News saying, breaking news, a National Guard shooting suspect charged with murder, assault with intent to kill among other counts. So this just coming into our newsroom. And as we were listening in live to President Trump's cabinet meeting, we were hearing from Attorney General Pam Bondi as she was discussing one of the survivors who was shot, saying that it's miraculous that he survived. She has been meeting with his family and asking for Americans to pray for them. So we did want to share the very latest as a West Virginia National Guard member who was shot last week in that attack is still on the mend, and so we did want to share that with you. So some breaking news right here that the National Guard shooting suspect charged with murder, assault with intent to kill, among other counts.
Now, I do believe the terrorist thing may be dropped from what I was hearing for some apparent reason. But again, you heard from my findings that they said that he had no alleged connection to terrorist group, and you know why they said that? Because he actually got his asylum under Trump. So if he had any associations, this was on Trump to find it, no matter what, if he came in under Biden. So, DC National Guard shooting American couple allegedly. This is economic time. This is for information, educational purposes only. Okay? DC National Guard shooting American couple. Shocking link to suspect revealed. Let's watch this real quick. Let's see what's going on with him.
A DC National Guard shooting has renewed attention on the background of suspect Ramanullah Lakanwal. The case resurfaced earlier ties between Lakanwal's family and Washington residents Stanley and Valerie Creighton. The Creightons had reportedly hosted the Afghan family in their $2.7 million Bellingham home shortly after their 2021 arrival. They offered temporary housing when the family had nowhere to stay during their first weeks in the United States, as per reports. The couple later created a fundraiser describing the family as kind people starting from nothing after evacuation.
But okay, so remember this. This is the connection to an American couple allegedly helping these people. But this guy was already connected to the CIA, so you know they were getting paid things like that with his whole operation. And this is a millionaire couple, so it's. This is good. This is good. This is real good.
Lakanwal had served 11 years in Afghan Special Forces alongside U.S. military personnel. It also explained that the family included 5 young children and needed basic household essentials. The fundraiser was removed after Lakanwal was identified as the shooter in the D.C. attack. Screenshots of the deleted page spread widely online, sparking renewed questions about the sponsorship. Additional reporting detailed Lakanwal's life in the U.S., including his work as an Amazon Flex driver. Records show his last delivery took place in August before the shooting occurred in Washington, D.C. He had recently been living in subsidized housing meant for people facing medical or economic challenges. A relative reportedly expressed confusion and said the family was seeking answers about what led to the tragedy. A childhood friend told reporters that Lakanwal struggled with traumatic memories from wartime service. Authorities continue examining the circumstances surrounding the shooting and Lakanwal's recent history.
Thank you all for being here on this difficult day. As you know, my name is Janine Pirro. I am the United States Attorney for the District of Columbia, and I am joined here by several individuals who represent agencies who have been working around the clock since this horrific event happened. To my left, we have the Director of the FBI. We have General Leland Blanchard of the National Guard. Mayor Bowser is here as well. We have Frank Saldana of the DEA, Chris Hecht of DHS, Executive Assistant Chief Jeffrey Carroll of the MPD, Darren Cox of the Washington FBI Field Office, and a Special Agent in Charge, Samuel Ward of the ATF in Washington. Now, I want to provide you with an update on the tragic shooting that occurred on 2 brave members of the West Virginia National Guard as they served in Washington, D.C. Unfortunately, today, as most families join together to give thanks for the blessings that have been bestowed upon them, 2 families are shattered and destroyed.
We're gonna get past her, and this was her Thanksgiving tribute. What I wanted you guys to see, I'm gonna see if they're gonna say anything more about the family who host them. We're going to look into this a little bit more, okay? As far as following up with who these people are, and we already most likely have an idea that they're government connected. Who does this? Who just does this? People gonna say, oh, they was just being nice, and they said he was struggling a lot, I guess, throughout his time in this particular time of serving. But then you hear the family saying, what happened? Like, what? Like, we're not hearing much, but it sounds like the family is pretty shocked. Like, where did this come from? He may not have a long standing of mental health issues, but they're putting that out there. Now, I'm gonna have to say this, and because I have people who serve in the army, people in my family, sergeant majors, yup, dead serious. And one of the things that I had talked to them about, which made me an outliner, and I don't care, and I'm a healthcare provider, was this: when they come in, they get 13 or so just coming in the door. And I'm like, what? Um, Most recently, my daughter, who I just talked to you guys about, she went in. She enlisted, and I was very nervous for her. And I didn't want to say don't do it, this, that, and the third, because I have a very strong personality, and they're younger people, so I'm trying not to push my views. And you know how the world makes you seem like you're a conspiracy theorist, but this shit actually come true. You know, I was just telling her, be careful, y'all. She ended up having to leave because she got injured. They made her run like 12 miles. She hurt her knee, and it just got exacerbated. But one of the things she said that she started to have issues with was stomach issues and headaches, bad headaches when she took. And she said she didn't want to. She just said she just had to because she's young. She did, I tried. But right now, she is following it up with PTOT, no insurance because she got injured and she was still in basic training. Be careful, guys. I'm trying to tell you, things go on, and I'm saying this from an inside perspective, kind of looking from a third party, what happens to our soldiers too. But yes, I understand. I'm not gonna just talk bad or, which I can assume is anti whatever. I see it, I lived it. My original dad was in the army. My uncle, who was the federal ICE agent throughout his career, he was an Air Force man. So they go through a lot of psychological things there as far as relinquishing their power, abuse. Some abuse goes on with women, seeing things that go on amongst colleagues. Like, for instance, I have a family member, she's a sergeant major, and in her platoon, literally, one of the tanker trucks just went over the ridge, and it wasn't even enemy attack, and like she lost like 5 people. And this person in my family has sleep deprivation issues. And I know it's connected to all of this and the things they seeing. So let's keep that in mind, because I'm not going to just disregard and say, K Ultra. But all of those chemicals and things in your body, it does something to your brain. It does, regardless. It deposits into your brain. And these people do have issues. So you're hearing the family basically saying, what happened? This is like out of the blue. Hopefully they could come out and talk more. But then you hear them suggesting that he was paranoid, this, that, and the third. Now we're going to move on into Trump escalating this into something to, how can I say, go after now green card holders and possibly second generations like me. I know y'all be happy. Y'all like, deport Grace Levi ass. Deport her. They already got her Haitian people. You know what's going on with the temporary protection for the Haitian people is officially going through. They've been fighting. We're still fighting in court. But yeah, they may be trying to deport me too. Let's get to it. This is what I'm saying. But peep this, y'all. He's not only going after green card holders. If someone in, I guess, a green card holder family or migration family do something, you may possibly be deported. And I'm not lying. Let's watch this because it's getting kind of hectic.
JT Fashion, here are some of the top stories we're following for you. 2 days after the horrific attack on 2 National Guard members who were on duty in Washington, one of them has died from their injuries. 20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom now being called a hero. The second wounded Guard member, 24-year-old Andrew Wolf, continues to fight for his life in the hospital. Investigators say they are probing every piece of the suspect's life in order to determine a motive. Attorney General Pam Bondi has threatened to seek the death penalty.
We want to get right. The National Guard members who were shot in D.C. yesterday. President Trump says U.S. Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom has died. ABC's Jacqueline Lee has the latest.
Tonight, President Donald Trump announcing 20-year-old Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom died, one of two members of the West Virginia National Guard ambushed in Washington, D.C. yesterday.
Highly respected, young, magnificent person. Started service in June of 2023. Outstanding in every way. She's just passed away. She's no longer with us. She's looking down at us right now.
Hold on one second. We about to hear Trump talk about his new policy updates. Oh, they put a little commercial in this. Thank you for being here, y'all.
24-year-old Air Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf is in critical condition. Attorney General Pam Bondi asking the public to please pray for the two, adding there will be justice.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
At a vigil in West Virginia, mourners gathering to pay their respects. Officials are saying this is the suspect who drove from his home in Washington state to Washington, D.C., and then opened fire on two National Guardsmen from West Virginia. The man identified as 29-year-old Ramanullah Lakhanwal, an Afghan national who worked closely with U.S. Special Forces and the CIA during the war in Afghanistan. Officials say the suspect allegedly ambushed the two guardsmen outside a busy metro stop, armed with a .357 revolver. A spokesperson with the West Virginia National Guard says their orders had been set to expire November 30th, but they volunteered to stay on extended orders just days ago.
It's sad. It is. It's like a part of your family, your brothers and sisters.
The investigation is intensifying on the suspects. According to sources, he was a highly trained and trusted member of an elite Afghan counterterrorism force called Zero.
I'm just going to pause here. Co-cider, thank you for putting that in there, because I'm literally looking at the economic growth of America while they say good Trump do all this stuff.
He came to the U.S. in
Thank you for putting
2021
that in
under
there.
a Biden-era program evacuating Afghan refugees during the withdrawal of U.S. forces, and was formally granted asylum in April under the Trump administration.
Under the Trump administration.
Los Angeles.
So don't let them fool you. Mega, we're not biased here. We're not biased at all. He came in under Biden, but he got asylum in 2025 while ICE is out here kicking butt. This is why I say consistently every day, what ICE is doing, National Guard is doing, and the Border Patrol doing is obsolete. You're literally letting people still in that allegedly you knew was paranoid and have connected to the CIA to do this, which is AKA sleeper cells, not eliminating them, but going after just general citizens. It's just not making sense to me, guys. This is all I'm saying. This came in under Biden, and Trump accepted him. Mega. Okay? Trump accepted him. So let's get to this. We're going to see how they were talking about streamlining a little bit different now, which is what we're supposed to do from the beginning. But then we're going to go into Trump talking about deporting his possible family. Okay? Listen, if this was legal, I would have been deported. I have a few family members who have done some stuff they was not supposed to do. And I don't think that should fall on everybody. I ain't gonna put all my business out there, but baby, this is not a good look. He is expanding his hand far and beyond. Now remember, Mega, before I let y'all listen to this, Mega, I love you guys. Y'all know I'm into nationality. Everybody learning who they are, representing your country, diversity. But a lot of my Caucasian European people don't even know who you are. You're German, you're Polish, you have so many different backgrounds in Sweden. What if he gets mad at these countries and then start going after them? Do not think that the less melanin you got, the more protected you are with Trump. It's all about his relationships and what he wants. Okay? It is what it is. So once you guys start actually researching your nationality and y'all realize that y'all lost vessels just like most of us, you're gonna realize that you're probably some second way of being deported too. I'm just saying. Where they gonna deport your ass to? I'm just gonna give you the facts. Nationality is a lot. White is not a nationality. To my Trump supporters, I'm hitting you a little hard here because he's expanding his hands. Don't think you can't be touched. Let's go.
Have a wife and 5 children who live in Washington. Do you plan to deport them?
The suspect has?
The suspect?
Well, we're looking at that right now. We're looking at the whole situation with family. It's a tragic situation.
The investigation into the Washington, D.C. attack is now expanding beyond the shooter and
Don't be mad. Don't be mad. Don't talk about race baiting. Charlie Kirk did that the whole time. He talked about black people the whole time. I miss Charlie Kirk. I'm not race baiting. I'm giving you the facts. I'm letting y'all know that y'all think y'all so different and y'all so better and you're so protected. You're not. I even told black people they're not protected. So how am I race baiting when all y'all policies is based on race and hate? You just hate the fact that we talk about it, and that's why you try to censor us. Baby, you know my sense make more sense than what you talking about. Dead up. Go look at your nationality, sir. Now I got you thinking like, damn, my people is from Germany and shit. All right, I'll make you think here. Hit the like button. Figure out
into
who
the
you are.
future of his entire family. Officials say they are actively reviewing whether the wife and children of Rahmanullah Lakanwal, the suspect accused of killing National Guardsman Sarah Beckstrom, should be deported. President Donald Trump confirmed his administration is examining the family's status and called it part of a broader look at the whole situation.
So you're hearing him saying it's part of the broader look of this, okay? So if someone in your family may do something a little wild, you may, and you're first of kin, you may have a chance to get deported because what he's doing is creating precedent. This is what he's doing.
Family has been living quietly in Bellingham City in Washington state. Relatives say his wife cared for their 5 young children while he worked to support them. The family's life in the United States was supposed to be a fresh start after the collapse of Afghanistan. But now they face the possibility of being removed from the country because of his actions.
We were the ones that were targeted by the Taliban in Afghanistan. I cannot believe that he might do this. I don't know what happened. I need your help to know why this happened.
This is his family talking, okay? We're hearing what his family is saying. They're confused on why this happened. What made him just flip like this?
One of Lakanwal's relatives, who served with him in the Afghan army, is struggling to understand what happened. He told the NBC he fought alongside Lakanwal for years, stood beside him in Kandahar, and watched him risk his life supporting U.S. forces during Taliban attacks. When he learned about the shooting, he said he was in disbelief. He said he never saw any signs that Lakanwal was capable of something like this, and begged for answers, saying his voice was cracking with emotion. The relative said he has not spoken to Lakanwal for several months and does not recognize the person described by police. According to family members, Lakanwal grew up in Host Province before joining the army in Afghanistan, where he served for a decade. He later worked with a CIA-backed Afghan military unit. After the fall of Kabul, he was brought to the United States in 2021 under Operation Allies Welcome, the program created to resettle Afghans who had supported U.S. missions. Relatives say his arrival here was meant to protect him from the Taliban, who had targeted him during the war. Investigators now say Lakanwal traveled from Washington State to the nation's capital and carried out a targeted attack on 2 National Guard members near the White House. Beckstrom was killed, and Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf remains in critical condition. Prosecutors have upgraded the charges to first-degree murder and say many more counts are expected.
Okay, this is really troubling to me because so many things is going through my mind, and I want to say thank you, Coastal Cider. You've been giving information that is very relevant because a lot of our mega supporters are not focusing on the facts, but the fact that Trump is dismantling the system. We have a lot of defects that we have to focus in on, which is our education system, which is going, what you said, the American dollar. I literally just had this stuff pulled up, but you're hitting it all in the chat because I want people to think before they just throw propaganda out there as well. You know, I throw the what ifs out there, but I throw the truth. You know, I just want you guys to think. But this is a little bit wild to me. Not only that they're looking at his family to deport, but the fact that his family is looking for answers too. Like, where did this come from? And I just have to say it. He may have had some pressure to do this. Again, some type of pressure was on him for him to snap. And we're going to find out a lot more. We're going to find out a lot more about this. I just have this feeling. Once a few content creators deep dive into this and use their resources, they're going to connect something so deep and down and dirty. You guys are not going to be surprised. Okay? So now Trump is not only targeting green card holders, the good thing is that they will be allegedly revamping the process of allowing asylum people here, which is good. Migration policies, revamping. This is what they've been supposed to have been doing, people. Instead of us focus on Democrat, Republican, and they're arguing in the Senate, in the congressional hearings. This is what's supposed to be happening. But what I think Trump is doing, or somebody or something is causing these events to happen to allow Trump to basically bypass all the separation of powers and check and balance systems so he can just do what he want to do. And that is, again, expand his hand when it comes to migration. And now he's moving into green card holders. He's going to be looking at them because this guy was a green card holder here under asylum, and possibly deporting of his family. All right, so this is the last thing I want to show you guys. I want to say thank you for being here, popping in, because this was an unpopular subject on Thanksgiving Day. I literally was just like, something is not right. People were not feeling it too much, like, you're calling it a psyops and 2 people are hurt. Maybe it's the nurse in me, because when you have people bleeding and things like that, I can't really focus in on the blood. I'm focusing on what's going on, what happened, how we're going to prevent it. So that's where you're going to get a lot of stoicism from me, guys. So I do apologize ahead of time if y'all think that I'm going to be emotional about certain things. I am, but when it came to this, my spidey senses was up, and I got y'all at least give me the 8 ball. At least give me the 8 ball that I said in my last broadcast that this guy was connected to some agency here and trained. He worked with them, so his family is saying we got asylum to get away from the Taliban. Remember, this is what you may not like, but the Taliban, the guns that they were found to have, in the uniforms and the way they were dressed, when you were seeing them up there with the flags and all the army stuff, they literally had our army stuff on from America and our guns. Yeah. National Guard member unalived in D.C. attack. The USCIS halts Afghanistan immigration. Okay, and I think it's 10 more countries that they're focusing in on right now. So this is where we're going to close off right now. I think Trump is trying to expand his hand and using these operations to get it done. I said it. I do. Hit the like button. Thank you. Thank you for showing up today. I appreciate you guys.
With some breaking news tonight, President Donald Trump now saying one of the 2 National Guard members shot outside a Washington, D.C. metro station yesterday has now died. Trump saying 21-year-old West Virginia National Guard member Sarah Beckstrom passed away from wounds suffered in that attack. 24-year-old Andrew Wolf was also hurt. FBI officials say they are now investigating the shooting as an act of terrorism. Officials say the suspected shooter is an Afghan national that came to the U.S. in 2021 and was granted asylum earlier this year. They say he drove across the country from his home in Washington state to carry out this shooting. He is now facing several charges.
Sorry, yeah.
There is confirmation now that the subject had a relationship in Afghanistan with partner forces. We are fully investigating that aspect of his background as well, to include any known associates that are either overseas or here in the United States of America.
In the wake of this shooting, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services has issued new guidance allowing for, quote, negative country-specific factors to be considered when vetting those trying to come into the country from so-called high-risk countries. The Trump administration will be re-examining all green cards issued to people from 19 countries of concern.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Afghanistan, Burma, Chad, Republic of Congo.
I knew it. Haiti. I told y'all they gonna deport my ass. They gonna come to my door like Grace Levi, domestic terrorists. I'm like, bitch, I ain't no domestic terrorist. I'm just God's kid. I'm getting ready, y'all. I don't want them to come, but hold the fuck well, because I'm gonna speak my truth. I knew they was gonna have Haiti on this mother. They scared of us for a reason, y'all. I thought we was a poor country.
Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea,
Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. Now, the call for additional re-examination.
Mind you, these countries right here, I just want y'all may not know it. Y'all may not know it. These countries that he's targeting, they're not only black countries, but a lot of these countries, y'all ain't gonna like it. They got the descendants of slaves all through here, especially Sudan. Okay, it's modern day slavery here. He's just trying to break these countries. Plain and simple. Iran, I have nothing to do with, but I feel some type of way. Okay, I'm gonna close off because highly favored. Now you remember I told you that he was going to be starting to come after us, and you thought I was lying. And look, a couple of months later, Haiti, right there, we part of the list now of them looking at people immigration cards, immigration status. Now, mind you, Trump administration is so all over the place that they just make things up as they go. So I want to know. I'm trying to figure out how far this is going to go. Is he going to take second citizen birthrights away? Because I know I'm over 40 at this point. It doesn't even matter. This is why this is all coming to a head, y'all. I promise you. It's a reason why you're here, okay? Not the fact that I want to be getting locked up by ICE, but the fact that it's getting real and I'm breaking this down in real time with no bias. So with that goes to say that, oh my God, that threw me off because I just knew Haiti's name was going to be on that list. I left it for a surprise for me. But again, I want you guys to, one, please pay attention to what's going on in your environment. I'm just being real no matter where you're from. Again, my mega supporters, you may be happy or laughing at some of the things that you hear, but again, you guys don't know your nationality. There's no such thing as white. As soon as Trump get mad at a nation that's connected to you, you will be part of the struggle. Shout out to all my Gentile and Caucasians that are out there fighting right there on the front line. You guys are in Portland. You guys were in Chicago. You guys in South Carolina, all over. Multi-nation fight right now for justice. So if you are that type of person, please hit the like button. Also, again, I just want to let you guys know what I do here. My name is Miss Grace. I do a comprehensive breakdown of what's happening around the world and happening in politics. So I try not to go every day and, bit by bit, but we put it together for the people who can't be on YouTube all the time and need to kind of have a breakdown of what's happening and talk from a non-biased perspective. So remember, I'm not Democrat, I'm not Republican. I'm a separatist, and I separate myself from the bullshit. And it sounds like America trying to separate themselves from me. I'm just playing, y'all. Oh, damn, this prediction shit. I hate it, y'all. I hate it, but I love it. Did not say this. Did not say this highly favored. We're going to pray on it and see how far this goes as far as Trump trying to implement these crazy policies. And remember, Trump is the one that let this person in, not Biden. So don't come under my comments with all that hateful stuff, okay? Have a good day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. We're going to get into what's going on with, I believe, ICE. We're going to get into that or something else more interesting. You let me know if it's anything you guys would like to talk about. Oh, I think tomorrow we're going to definitely talk about all of the many ways that Trump is going to jail. Okay, while he's deporting us, he's going to go to jail. And also, we're going to talk about how Kash Patel about to get fired. I don't know why he thought that he was safe. Also, I think the next person that's going to be targeted is the National Guard commander, Bavino, for some apparent reason. I just have this, I don't know why, guys, but just mark this as another 8-ball moment. I believe Kash Patel is out the door and Bavino is going to be out. Okay, so we'll talk about that tomorrow in many ways of Trump going to jail. Please hit the like button. And if I hit a nerve, hit the like button.